Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining in today for Session 4 of the Counterterrorism training, reviewing the Poli-Si teachings, and I'm so happy that you could join us. I'm just going to kick it off with a short message. Yesterday, I started experiencing some directed energy at my face. It's always at my head, but you'll see, not wearing makeup, but I'm still dealing with the burn. It's lighter than what it was yesterday. And before I joined the call, I thought, well, let me try to cover it up with some makeup. But then, you know, thinking about Poli-Si and the teachings and authenticity, you know, this burn, that I'm dealing with, this directed energy, is not my shame to carry. This face is a representation of what it is to be a targeted person and a survivor. And it's not something that I should be embarrassed of and cover it, because this is the face of what is possible as being targeted. And not only do we deal with the plethora of audio things that we might feel, the sensations in our body, in our head, that this face represents, you know, government weaponization and torture that is being permitted globally around the world. So I was like, you know, I'm just going to sign in and, you know, let it be what it is. This is what we are facing. These directed energies, this cognitive rights abuse and violation, attempts to override our central nervous system and, you know, our minds. This is what we stand for and fight to expose. So here we are. And Jamie, you want to kick it off for this week?
Well, thank you for showing up authentically. You got your battle scars and all. So, hello everyone, resilient targeted survivors, back to Beyond the Looking Glass Counterintelligence Operations Training with the Science of Poli-Si. Today's workshop is titled Coherence Begins When Signal is Witnessed. So a month has passed since we've last met, having yielded many personal discoveries, renewed strength, and a solid direction for me and Poli-Si. Let's resume our mission. For the newcomers, the Science of Poli-Si is an acronym for policing science, thought, and systems. It's a holistic science that blends psychology, neuroscience, systems mechanics, multidimensional physics, philosophy, and spirituality into consciousness studies and biofield navigation. So we can maneuver through the complexities, uncertainties, and vulnerabilities of this reality field. So Poli-Si operationalizes consciousness, and if you're here, you are simulators of truth. A tidal wave of change is coming, fast and hard, that has been held back for so long because of technological differences. Humanity is currently lost in this universe simulation, which is nothing more than a polarity-based system. The system was hijacked by those on the inside who learned how to reprogram the operations. Thus, the system itself is parasitic, as if a virus was uploaded. This is due to the mind machines that were created long ago that resurfaced due to the advancement of technology during World War II that are capable of enacting psychotronic warfare to literally feed on the bioemissions of human suffering, lust, and depravity. As a result, people are literally beamed with a false mind through electronic warfare, synthetic telepathy, and remote neural monitoring. This is fueling conflict, mental illness, disease, and addiction as it feeds off the lower bioemissions of your trauma. I know there's a lot of confusion, but the solution is truth, honesty, accountability, awareness, empathy, compassion, free will, proper knowledge, authenticity, and coherence. We can do this by creating a new mindset that allows for the clearing of our problems. Our healing relies on decoding, encoding, and recoding the conscious, subconscious, and unconscious mind by clearing energetic implants and etheric attachments, unveiling and healing trauma, letting go of false personas, unveiling the unconscious aspects of self that control the conscious mind, releasing mind control programming, and separating from the illusion, committing to the breaking of contracts and associations with the toxic reality field, to unveil the true self, our true soul awareness through the power of self-awareness and organic life force energy, essentially organizing spiritually at the soul level. We are here to overcome fear and release ourselves from the synthetic frequencies that tether us to the illusion of separation agenda. There are autonomous systems, quarantine timelines, and immunity structures to keep those of you with pure heart safe, to ensure safe transport from this realm. You have access to them through observer intelligence, by showing up in the ever-present now moment through non-attachment, non-judgment, and non-expectation. You have the ability to operationalize consciousness. The Poli-Si blueprint for operationalizing consciousness is a template for creating a cryptographic mind and cyber-secured neural network to connect with organic life systems. You can build your own advanced encryption system and sophisticated neural network when the goal is mind, brain, heart, nervous system, free will, coherence. We offer freely a self-governing, active learning, defense and response model of thought and non-dual somatic program language. We have the blueprint, but you have to build the ark. Our guided journey today integrates Poli-Si protocols and formulas, the observer, observed, and witnessed triad, the cryptographic mind, the input, processing, output workflow, nervous system regulation, fraud-free zero-point coherence for reading energy in the spaces between data. Healing occurs naturally through decoding, encoding, and recoding the unconscious, subconscious, and unconscious mind. By building fraud-free zero-point biomarkers, you can create measurable indicators of coherence, somatic, emotional, and cognitive signals. Example, your heart rate variability, emotional clarity, and somatic and and mental focus that reflect alignment on one's highest truth, free from distortions or fraud-free. For example, external manipulation, trauma, or your biases. So our declaration of self-governance and guided journey was designed for targeted survivors to achieve coherence, deprogram disassociation, and reclaim truth in a world that obscures it. This is where we actively teach ourselves how to normalize our responses, not as all or nothing thinking truths, but as signals and invitations to sense, probe, categorize, and respond into deeper understandings that lead to higher truth. So, do we want to open up for questions, comments? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. And the accompanying guide for today's session will be sent to everyone through email. Jamie and I did speak that I'm going to create a folder on my Proton drive with an accessible link that I can distribute out to the group and load all of the previous documentation from the counterintelligence and the counterterrorism sessions that we've had. The videos are accessible on the Chosen Heroes YouTube page as well. And then, Jamie, you as well have created a YouTube channel with the videos also, correct?
Yes.
And that is the Quantum Reality Studies channel. So anyone have any questions before we get started or want to share anything?
So Emily is going to read the Declaration of Self-Governance, Cognitive Sovereignty and Divine Reclamation. I recommend to everyone that they read it every single day. When I prepared it, I felt inclined to go to the beach on a full moon and read it out loud 3 times. When I woke up the next day, I felt a measurable difference. So I've been relying heavily on that. I've been listening to it. I recorded it. I listen to it constantly to constantly remind me of what it is that I'm doing. Do you want to go ahead and read, Em?
Yeah. All right. So I'll start off with Poli-Si lens with cognitive rights. So political. This declaration rejects external political and systemic control, including legal fictions, corporate personalhood, and emerging threats like cognitive surveillance and manipulation through technology, AI, neurotechnology, data-driven behavioral influence. It asserts self-governance as the foundation of political freedom. And then self-integrity, it emphasizes personal and spiritual autonomy, aligning with your authentic essence and divine blueprint. Cognitive rights are framed as integral into this integrity, protecting your mental and conscious freedom. And cognitive rights, this explicitly protects your mental autonomy, addressing threats like psychological manipulation, algorithmic control, and unauthorized data harvesting of thoughts and behaviors. It aligns with growing concerns about cognitive liberty in an era of advanced technology. All right, so I'll read the declaration. By the eternal authority of the living source and the inherent power of my conscious will, I, Emily Schneider, a self-aware and sovereign being, declare my unalienable right to self-governance and cognitive autonomy. I proclaim revocation of illegitimate authority. I nullify and revoke all contracts, statutes, and obligations, whether political, legal, energetic, or cognitive, imposed upon me without my explicit, informed, and voluntary consent. No system, institution, or entity may claim authority over my body, mind, soul, or cognitive processes through coercion, deception, or assumed jurisdiction. Assertion of cognitive sovereignty. I declare absolute sovereignty over my cognitive rights, including my thoughts, beliefs, perceptions, and mental processes. My mind is a sacred domain free from manipulation, external programming, or technological intrusion. No entity, human, artificial, or systemic, may influence, monitor, or control my consciousness without my consent. Reclamation of self-governance. I am a self-governing entity accountable only to the principles of truth, justice, and the natural law of my divine essence. My body, mind, brain, and soul are inviolable, or my inviolable domain, and I reject any claim of ownership or control by external systems, whether governmental, corporate, technological, or ideological. Dissolution of false systems. I sever all ties to political, social, economic, or technological constructs that rely on manipulation, opacity, or exploitation to bind individuals. Any system that violates transparency, equity, or the sovereignty of my mind, body, or cognitive faculties is hereby declared null and void in relation to my being. Return to divine blueprint. I reclaim my original divine essence, restoring my body, mind, and consciousness to their pristine state of freedom, purity, and alignment with the living source. I reject the fiction of corporate entities or identities, legal constructs, or cognitive manipulations that seek to reduce my living essence to an instrument of control. Commitment to authentic governance. As a self-governing and cognitively sovereign being, I pledge to act in alignment with truth, integrity, and the collective good, fostering systems of mutual respect and transparency. My political, personal, and cognitive actions reflect my sovereignty, guided by reason, compassion, and the internal wisdom of the source. This declaration is my sovereignty, or is my sovereign act, rooted in the unassailable truth of my existence as a free, conscious, and self-determined being. It is binding in the eternal now, witnessed by the living source, and affirmed by my will. So it is, and so it shall be.
Jamie, were you saying something? You're on mute.
I said thank you, Emily.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Such a powerful attestation for yourself to say it every single day. And I like the idea that Jamie, you had said that you had recorded it. You could play it to yourself. You could put it on repeat when you feel like you need that extra confirmation of your divine rights and to reject all that has come up against you in many forms. It will be included in today's accompanying guide as well as the guided journey that we will go through today also.
I would like to add, I can't go into too much detail, but I'm creating an app. It's a co-pilot app. It's a Poli-Si, the self-governing active learning defense and response model. Think of it as having a Poli-Si co-pilot talking to you, about your triggers, working through traps, identifying, core truths with you. That's all I can say. But it's not going to be tomorrow. And it's a lot of work, and it costs a lot of money. So I think about 6 months will be up and running. But I would like to gift it to TIs only, that are working the program. But you guys are the app. You are building your own app in your mind by doing this work. Mm-hmm. You have to be able to challenge these thoughts and ideas and concepts that come in, Do we want to move into the meditation, or does anyone have anything to comment on?
Hi, I just want to introduce myself. I know you guys are probably like, who's this girl? I don't know how long you've known each other, but I recently reached out to Jamie and we've talked a little bit. I'm a long talker, so we hit it off and we talked for about an hour, and I'm just learning. So I am like a baby to all this. So if I say something, please just kind of guide me through this, because I'm like, this is hitting me like 90 miles an hour in the face. I just recently lost my husband to suicide in April, and couple weeks before his passing, he told me he was having visions and thoughts of killing me. He was a soldier for 25 years. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure shit out. Like I told Jamie, my life has never been the norm, and I just thought that's just how I am, and I rolled with the punches. And the more I'm going through everything, there's more to it. And so I'm literally like a baby finding all this stuff out. So Jamie, I'm taking your advice and doing it little at a time, where I'm not gonna hurt myself by taking on too much. Mm-hmm. But I'm treading water with a bunch of fucking sharks. Excuse my language, but like I'm literally, I'm new to all this, so just forgive me if I'm not catching on right away. But
you're fine. You're fine.
And that's my
you're
husband.
Right on time.
But I everything you guys are saying, it's clicking with me. So I'm just doing baby steps and doing what I can, Jamie. Thank you for everything.
Thank you for showing up, and we're so sorry about your husband. It's just,
yeah,
unbelievable.
That's the story of my life, though, Jamie. You know, like I told you, like all the shit I've been through, it's like literally like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like I just kind of roll with the punches, and then I'm like, no, there's more to this. This is not fucking normal. So, excuse my language.
That's okay.
I get a little fiery about it, but I just want to say thank you. I'm excited for your app, and I'm wanting to know more and wrap my mind around it all at the same time. So thank you guys.
Our hearts really go out to you, Sarah. I host the Chosen Heroes podcast. It's on Sundays, and what happened to your husband? There is so many stories where I've heard people who served for the country, you having these directed energy, this advanced technology being used against them, and for manipulation, for activation, to do things that are not in their best interest, whether it be hearing manipulated through frequencies, directed energy weapons, or the auditory effect. All of these things come into play. And again, my heart goes out to you. I know it just doesn't make any sense as to why we would be subjected to this kind of manipulation and experimentation and torture.
Yeah, no, I told Jamie when I was in second grade, I got pulled out of class, and I don't know if it's the MK Ultra thing. I don't know. Like, literally, I'm a baby to this. This is all so new to me. I've known about that. Like, I remember it, but it didn't connect that was maybe what it was. And they would run tests and shit on me. And I joined the Army. That's how I met my husband. I was a stay-at-home Army wife for 22 years. There's just so, I could.
It'll take a long time, but you'll piece it all together where it makes sense.
Yeah.
And it sounds like, unfortunately, if this weren't the case, I mean, if he was hearing voices and seeing visions,
Yeah.
If it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But no, I'm wanting to learn all this, and I'm taking it baby steps, one bite at a time, but I don't want to overwhelm myself. So if I just kind of be easy with me, because
there's no pressure here.
But I've known about this, but I've never connected with anybody else that could kind of explain it to me. It was like I kind of always have known, but for you to actually make sense of it, it's like, oh my God, I'm not fucking crazy. So thank you guys.
Sorry, I had to go off video for a minute because all of a sudden a speaker from another room just started playing, so I had to go turn that off. The foolery of what we deal with on a regular basis. So I'm like, not today. So, oh my goodness. Are we all ready for our guided journey? All right. So this guided journey is about reclaiming coherence, healing through decoding, encoding, and recording. Our journey today integrates Poli-Si protocols and formulas. The observer observes, witness, triad, the cryptographic mind, the input processing output flow, which is sensing, probing, categorizing, and responding. The formula of information plus knowledge minus polarity equals 0 point. nervous system regulation, cognitive sovereignty, reading energy in the spaces between data, and decoding, encoding, and recoding the unconscious, subconscious, and conscious mind through zero-point, fraud-free, coherent biomarkers. And biomarkers are defined as measurable indicators of coherence, somatic, emotional, and cognitive signals, heart rate variability, emotional clarity, and mental focus that reflect alignment with one's highest truth, free from distortions or fraud, external manipulation, trauma, or biases. This guided practice was designed for targeted survivors to achieve coherence, deprogram disassociation, and reclaim truth in a world that obscures it. This is where we actively teach ourselves how to normalize responses, not as all or nothing truths, but as signals and invitations to sense, probe, categorize, respond into deeper understandings through the fraud-free communication of mind, brain, heart, nervous system, free will coherence. So welcome to this guided journey to reclaim your cognitive sovereignty and coherence as a targeted survivor. You are here to witness your highest truth, free from the fraud of external distortion and internal blocks. We'll decode, encode, and recode your unconscious, subconscious, and conscious mind using zero-point fraud-free coherent biomarkers. Signals like a steady breath, a clear mind, and a calm heart that mark your authentic truth. So find a comfortable position. And let's start with 3 slow breaths. So we want to inhale for 4, hold for 7, and exhale for 8. All right, and let's do that again. 2 more times. Inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. And final time, inhale for 4, hold for 7, and exhale for 8. Feel your body anchor into this safe space. Okay, so segment 1, we're sensing the signal, awakening the observer. This is Poli-Si protocol: observer, observed, witness, triad, sensing, which is input, non-judgment. So our focus is going to be to decode the subconscious mind by sensing raw signals, which are sensory, emotional, intuitive, of targeting, identifying fraud like gaslighting, induced doubt via biomarkers. Bring your awareness to your body, which is the home of your truth. Notice any sensations, tightness, warmth, or a subtle ping of intuition without labeling them. These are your raw signals, the information of your experience. As the observer, watch these signals like waves on a shore. The signals are the observed, and you, the witness. Hold space with non-judgment. Recall a recent moment of targeting. Perhaps a sense of surveillance, emotional unease, or an intuitive nudge. Where do you feel it in your body? Your chest, gut, head, shoulders? This is your subconscious mind signaling truth or fraud. A coherent biomarker might feel like a steady breath or clear intuition. A fraud signal might feel like racing thoughts or tension. Don't judge, just witness. And say silently, I decode this signal as an invitation to truth. If fight, flight, fawn, or freeze arises, maybe a racing heart, which is flight, or numbness, which is freeze, notice it as a subconscious firewall and just breathe into it, decoding its message without attachment. So now we're going to move into segment 2, which is probing responses. Engaging the nervous system. And the Poli-Si protocol is the probing, which is processing, then nervous system regulation, which is fight, flight, fawn, and freeze, non-attachment. And the focus will be to encode the unconscious mind by regulating survival responses, planting empowering signals, which is safety and resilience, via coherent biomarkers. Let's probe deeper to encode your unconscious mind with strength. Gently ask yourself, what is this signal revealing? Is it fear from external noise, like gaslighting, or a truth, like your resilience? Notice your nervous system's response. Fight would be an example of a clenched jaw. Flight is restlessness. Fawn is self-doubt. Or freeze is the feeling of stuckness. These are protective signals, not flaws. Regulate with a coherent biomarker. Inhale deeply, imagining light filling up your heart. Calming fight or flight. And exhale, releasing fawn or freeze. I'm going to take 2 more breaths. Inhale deeply imagining that light filling up your heart, even more so this time, calming fight or flight. And exhale, releasing fawn or freeze. Now one more time, let's go even deeper. Inhale deeply. The light is filling your heart. Calming fight or flight. Exhale, pushing through even more, releasing the fawn or the freeze. Picture your unconscious mind as a secure vault, encoding a new signal. I am safe to feel my truth. Say this silently, feeling a biomarker like a relaxed body or steady pulse. Now probe the spaces between data, the quiet gaps where intuition lives. What energy emerges? A sense of power, calm, or knowing. Let go of attachment to outcomes, encoding your unconscious with trust. If a targeting memory surfaces, see it as data to decrypt, not to control you. And say, I encode my strength in this moment. Now we're going to move into segment 3, which is categorizing distortions, building the cryptographic mind. The Poli-Si protocol is categorizing, just processing, information plus knowledge minus polarity equals 0-point non-expectation. And the focus is to recode the conscious mind by organizing signals, filtering fraud like biases and trauma, and using biomarkers to confirm 0-point coherence. Now let's recode your conscious mind by building a cryptographic workspace. Take the signal you sensed, perhaps a moment of feeling targeted. Now categorize it using the formula: information, the raw event, plus knowledge, which is your understanding, minus polarity, which is fraud like fear or doubt, that equals 0-point. Is this signal authentic, like a true intuition? Or is it distorted by fraud, like external skepticisms? Picture your mind as an encryption filter, sorting truth into a vault labeled My Coherence. Fraud, rumination loops, or suppression floats away. If rumination spikes, say, I recode this into clarity. If suppression blocks truth, say, I release this firewall. Check for a coherent biomarker. Does your breath feel steady? Is your mind clear? This is 0-point coherence, free of expectation. Say silently, I recode my conscious mind for truth. Visualize your mental network glowing, secure from external noise. Now we're going to move into segment 4, which is responding with sovereignty, recording and sharing truth. The Poli-Si protocol is responding, which is output, cognitive sovereignty, truth, witness, recorded, shared. The focus is act from coherence, using biomarkers to confirm fraud-free truth, recording and sharing with sovereignty. Now respond from your 0-point coherence, claiming cognitive sovereignty. Your truth demands to be witnessed, recorded, and if you choose, shared. Feel a cognitive biomarker, perhaps a calm heart, clear focus, anchoring your truth. Imagine writing your signal in a truth log, a secure space like an encrypted journal. For example, I felt watched today. My intuition is valid. The act of recording is sovereignty. Now picture sharing your truth, perhaps with a trusted ally. See yourself doing this without needing validation, guided by a biomarker like inner calm. And say silently, I claim my right to witness my truth. If fight or fawn emerges, breathe deeply, grounding into your feet. Your response is intentional, fraud-free. Feel your mind, heart, and nervous system aligning, encoded with sovereignty. This is your cryptographic mind recoded for action. Now, we will be moving into segment 5, which is integration and closure, 0-point coherence. The Poli-Si protocol is mind, brain, heart, nervous system, free will, coherence, somatic, non-dual language. And the focus is to anchor coherence across all mind layers, using biomarkers to confirm fraud-free alignment. Let's integrate this journey into your being. Place one hand over your heart and one on your belly, connecting mind, heart, and nervous system. Feel the warmth as a non-dual somatic language, your body speaking coherence. Inhale, weaving light through your brain, which is clarity, into your heart, which is truth, and your nervous system, which is calm. Exhale, releasing any fraud, fear, doubt, or external noise. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, weaving light through your brain for clarity, your heart for truth, and nervous system for calm. Exhale, releasing any fraud, fear, doubt, or external noise. And for the final time, inhale, weaving that light through your brain, bringing clarity, your heart, bringing you truth, and your nervous system, calming. Exhale, releasing any fraud, fear, doubt, or external noise. Now, check your coherent biomarkers. Is your breath steady? Is your body relaxed? Is your mind clear? This is 0 point, where your unconscious is encoded with strength, your subconscious decoded of blocks, and your conscious mind recorded for sovereignty. Say silently, I am coherent, fraud-free, and sovereign. Picture your mental workspace as a radiant network, secured and aligned. Gently wiggle your fingers and toes, returning to the room. Carry this coherence forward. If you feel called, write one sentence in your truth journal. An example would be, today I witnessed this fraud-free truth. Now thank yourself for this act of courage. You've completed this journey decoding subconscious blocks, encoding unconscious strength, and recoding conscious action. Your 0 point fraud-free, coherent biomarkers, like a calm heart or clear intuition, are your anchors. Revisit your journal to reinforce sovereignty. If emotions arise, use breathwork or grounding to stay present. If you choose to share, only do so with safe and trusted individuals. You are a witness to your truth, disrupting the unseen war. And Poli-Si thanks you for your resilience. Would anyone like to share anything that may have came up for you? I know for me personally, just reading the meditation, it really does help me become centered and calm and block out the external, actions and noise. It does give me a sense of peace and calmness, knowing that I can sit with myself and trust what my body and mind bring to my attention, that I must focus on and to work through, to liberate myself and to free myself from the external chaos and manipulation.
I felt more calm too. I could feel like a pulsing in my head as well. Yeah.
So it's really good that you find your 0-point calm baseline, because that's going to be your comparison for discernment. When you have a calm heart and a clear mind, your intuition is working properly. You're not coherent if you're stressed out on sensory overload. So it's understanding the difference, being able to bring yourself back down to the baseline. And you're going to need this for discernment, because we are being bombarded, and guilt, fear, shame, anger, resentment, humiliation, frustration, sadness, grief, contempt, we're buried underneath of that, under complexity, uncertainty, and vulnerability, which basically creates confusion and sensory overload to the point where you can't even do anything. You're stuck, either in depression, anxiety, or some type of freeze. But it's in those moments when you recognize, so coherence begins when the signal is witnessed. So when you recognize, what is it that I'm dealing with? Okay, I feel confused, sensory overload, I'm stuck in flight. You can start recoding, and it's in those moments, and they're grueling moments. But if you can keep your head together, you can still use your mind. Whatever your body's doing, you can still use your mind. But the mind usually wants to go off into the negative. You got to reel it back in. It's in those moments where you start to recode, create new port to move from. So, did anyone feel that they were triggered? Can anyone answer that?
Yeah, I had fear come up. I could feel it in my back. It was like a really tight spot in my back.
Yeah.
I
felt fear too.
Fear crust is what is
yeah.
really me lately, and
yeah, same here.
But I can control it and release it. But that came up. Yeah.
Good. All right. Doesn't seem like we have too many chatty Cathys out there today.
It's a lot to process, and so it's good for reflection. It's amazing how the mind and body can, point you to what you need to see, and discern, like you said, what is fraud. If you're going from one moment to the next, to feeling calm, into this triggered, anxious, your gut is tightening, your breath is shallowing, that's something, fraudulent coming against you, or you need to, what is it that needs to come up, and sit with it. And when we're busy and everything, sometimes it's not, so accessible for us to sit and work through, but the one thing that you can do until you get to that place where you can work through it and build that sacred, mental workspace to work with it, is to breathe, to just breathe and do the breath work.
I noticed towards the end of the meditation that I could breathe more deeply, and like my stomach was really tight in the beginning, and when the breath got deeper, also my stomach started to be more liberated, more free.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Thank you for sharing. Mm-hmm. You're beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes, you all are. We represent, strong women that are fighting for our rights, our cognitive rights, and we're building up our resilience and our strength. I think this journey has really taught me who I am, and you get to see yourself more and more clearly as you do the work and you start to release this garbage that you've been carrying around that isn't even your truth. It's probably been weaponized against you, trauma, fear, past situations. All of these things we're having thrown at us, but instead of it putting us down and recoiling and withdrawing, we can face it head on and release it, because then it no longer has its power over us. And this is the kryptonite. This system, the Poli-Si methods, is the kryptonite to this program. This program needs you to have buy-in and to believe the manipulations and distortions, and to feed your fear and your trauma, to perpetuate it, and to keep you anchored to the falseness of this narrative that it wants you to carry with you, that is not the truth. It's not your divine birthright to endure this. And you can fight your way out of it in a healthy way, right? And which is releasing.
Yes, they're manipulating data to manipulate our behavior. But once you start seeing it, you can start processing it out. And this input, processing, output, sensing, probing, categorizing, responding puts us in the driver's seat, to where we start to filter out and categorize and recode our truth. We don't have to keep, it's definitely a process. I'm not saying this is not built overnight, but if you work hard at it every day. I know for me, I've gone back. I always go back to my beginning from 20 years ago. I know the past month I've listened to more affirmations. I've said more affirmations. I've listened to more meditations. I have done more inner work this past month, because it's like I'm at the end game. Like I'm trying to get out there and put this, create this system, and it's like trying to block me from doing it. So it's hitting on everything. Relationships. That's why it's really important for us to have a community of people that we can rely on, that tell us the truth, who aren't judging us, condemning us, and saying we should do it this way, we should do it that way, but also stand up and speak, the truth, without being afraid that we're going to, get repercussions for it. So it's building a communication system with each other, buddy system, helping each other out. This is the only way we're going to survive, because you can't do this on your own. I can't do it on my own. I need people in my life. I've already been rejected and ostracized. When I see people where I live, I see their hair stand up on the back of their neck. So I've just gotten used to just being very off-putting for people, but I don't want that anymore. I want genuine relationships where people, not everybody is going to have your perception or understanding, because they're not you. However, all you need is people who, with an open mind, who can hold the space and allow you to process out things, who give you good advice, who aren't going to feed into your drama, and feed the storyline. So we really need to just, I recommend people reach out. And again, I'm happy to do the resonance mapping and teach that. I really want to get that up and going, but I see here where we need to be. This takes a long time to build this architecture, but it's done every day, the mundane, having a plan, organizing the mind, deciphering what things you can prove versus what you can't prove, what you just think, it's connected to an idea or a memory that you have in your head, discerning energies properly, looking at our mirrors, what are they trying to tell us, just not getting caught in the storyline, making decisions, not worrying about, not trying to offend people, but not worrying that you are offending people by just speaking your authentic truth.
Authenticity is like a laser. I've been, like you said, more affirmations. I go to bed each night. I'm listening for various different things. Carl Jung work on the shadow and healing the shadow and integrating those parts, because it's those rejected parts that we don't want to look at or want to deal with that we need to dive into. We have to, do this integration of ourself in all parts, because those undesirable parts, they are, working with us, and they're protecting us, right, in some way, right? So when anger has been building up a lot for me lately, I'm like, hello, anger, my old friend, what are you trying to show me here? And that's how you can kind of spin it back around and just get yourself centered in that moment. You're starting to do that dance with anger or fear, and just, to stop and see, okay, is this coming from me? Is this something external? Just go into all of those questions, and then I would keep myself in that spin, previously, but then I can quickly get myself out of it by just giving it space and start asking questions and seeing how my body responds, what picture flashes or memories come to mind. Am I overwhelmed? Where is this coming from? This is what Poli-Si is all about, working through these triggers and these moments. Anybody would like to share before we go and sign off for today?
No, I just want to say thank you for this. Thanks. It was nice seeing
Thank
faces.
you.
All right, so go ahead, Jamie.
No, I was just going to say we'll see you on September 27th for the next workshop.
Yes, that's what I was about to announce. We're going to do the next one at the same time, 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern, and 11 a.m. Pacific time on September 27th.
Yes, and reach out for the resonance mapping. If you're stuck in a survival response, call me. Let's work through it. You can always, if you already have my number, just send me a text. Are you available? If not, email me. a time that you're available. So I know some of us have trouble with phones and things like that, but we can always work it out.
And I will be sending shortly the accompanying guide that has all the information that was discussed at the beginning and the guided journey, and that will be going out. I'm going to create that drive on Proton and send you the link where it will have, where you can access all the documents from both series, the the counterterrorism and the counterintelligence series, and give the YouTube channel link for the videos too. So if you ever want to go back and revisit one of the previous sessions, you can have the video and the accompanying guide to work through that. It's all wonderful content. Thank you, Jamie, for sharing what you've received as a byproduct of all the work that you've done over the years. This is something that you have built up for over 20 years, and you're sharing it to us. And it's so important to those that are experiencing targeting. This is our liberation and our way out of this. These are the times that we are in, and we have a very, very strong weapon against it, which is reclaiming our power and our self-worth and releasing the tension and the anxiety and the fear and the trauma. I say to myself every single day, I no longer choose to carry this trauma around with me. I want the guidance and the awareness of how I can release this, because it's not mine to carry anymore. And it is, you have to remind yourself, what has happened to you is not your fault. And then what you can view it as is it has been a teacher to show you, how to progress through the most sophisticated, weaponry of, cognitive warfare that has been, we've been subjected to. And I try to use my past and view it as a teacher. I wouldn't be where I am today had I not gone through those previous experiences. And what it did is it ended up building a very strong person. And then when we start to recognize ourselves as being a strong, warrior of light in all of this darkness, you shift that distorted lens that is constantly thrown at you of unworthiness and undesirable, or all of these things that are false labels. And then we start to, what we carry with us is our real labels of who we are, not what others have, judgment upon us and cast upon us, because they're operating from, their distortion and their mirrors and throwing it back onto you. And we choose not to carry that. That's not ours to carry. I appreciate each and every one of you, and as Jamie said, feel free to reach out, and I will be following up shortly with the guide and the links to today's video and the previous documents.
Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.